In this episode, an interview with floral designer Marte Glasbergen. Hi there, bridal couples to be.
Welcome to How to Get Married in Holland,
The ultimate wedding podcast of and about the Netherlands.
We, wedding ceremony experts, aka celebrants Daphne and Jasperin, share all ins and outs of getting married in our flat and fabulous country.
Enjoy listening.
Hello to you all. It's good to see you, Daphne and Marte.
Good morning.
Today we have a special, a special treat really in the form of an interview with you, Marte. We've worked together before.
Yes.
We always like doing specials, talking with pros in the industry, and it's good to see you. So, first question to you. Let's hit it off. Tell me about yourself. Introduce yourself.
Okay, well, thank you for the invitation. I'm Marte Glasbergen, and I'm from Nieuwkoop, a very small town in the center between all the big cities. And I've lived here and worked here since 2008. I have started a company, Bloom Your Life, and we have specialized in providing flowers for weddings and events. And we have done that since 2008. We really liked to be able to create the total aspects with flowers for a wedding. So from the bridal bouquet, the corsages, and the decorations for the ceremony, the reception, dinner. We always really like to style the dinner as well, and everything combines together for the party.
That's how did you start? I mean, you speak about we. That means that there's more of you. But how did it start?
Well, that's a nice story. My parents had a flower export company at the flower auction in Aalsmeer. And when I was a little girl, I always liked to go with my father to the auction because it's a very dynamic place. It always really starts very early, of course, when the clock, where the flowers are being traded. And all the carts with all the flowers go by. It's always a very busy atmosphere. So that's what I always like to go with my father to the auction. And that I think there the love for flowers starts. And my parents had several clients, of course, also in America. And there was one of them, they were located in Memphis. And we were, my sister and I, we were able to go also for, holiday/business trip. And we went to Memphis, and I saw that they had also a flower shop, but that was, in that time, especially not very common here in Holland to do that at that large scale.
Yes.
So they provide flowers for weddings and events, and I saw firsthand how that works and how the dynamics for making the bridal bouquet and the corsages and bring them to a venue and everything in a big truck and go to. So we saw that for firsthand, and I think there the love for it started. That I thought, okay, maybe that's something that is nice to add here in Holland, because it was not that common to do that at that scale.
You only had the bridal bouquet, right? And the corsage, perhaps?
Yeah, in Holland.
And that was it?
Yeah, exactly. It's most of the time when they say bridal work, it's for the corsage and the bridal bouquet. And the venue had their own decorations and florals. And that was, most of the time it. But now you see more and more that, couples really see the advantage to add the florals and decorations, especially, on their personality and the atmosphere for the venue. That it's a nice combination together and a nice adding for the day.
Yeah,
They want a total picture, which is like the same, which fits.
Yeah,
the way they are. And did you do a special training to become a floral designer? How did that work?
Yeah, I started actually something different. Marketing management I have studied in Rotterdam.
Okay.
And but I always thought, okay, maybe I want to go into the company with my parents. But I always thought, okay, I like the trading, but I always like to create as well and make something of it. Just not only, okay, I'm gonna sell you some flowers, but create something with it. So then I thought,
Yes.
okay, I like it, but I think I want to do something more creative. So I started in Aalsmeer an education for floral design. And then in 2008, how do you say it in Dutch? You have a nice saying. I put on my shoes,
De
You
stoute
made a
schoenen
bold
aantrekken.
move.
bold move,
Yeah.
de stoute schoenen aan. And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna start. And it was very small, of course, like I think most of us start with 3 weddings in a year. And I start from the flower export company in Aalsmeer. So I didn't really had a own atelier yet. But yeah, you start very slowly. And but of course, for every wedding, I was very nervous. And I want to of course, now still I want to do it correctly and how we had it in mind. But for 3 weddings in a year, of course, it has to grow a little bit. But it was
Yes.
a nice grow through the years.
Yeah. Organic growth.
Yeah,
And how
exactly.
many
Yeah.
weddings do you do each year right now, Marta?
Well, it's a little bit depending, of course. With the pandemic last year, but I think for most of us, it was totally different because 3 years were coming in 1 year. But normally, what we aim to do is between 40 and 50 weddings a year. That's what I always say. Then I always like it as well because otherwise it's too busy, and we really want to keep what our core points are for our business as well. Personal approach. So, and if it's too much, you can't have, it's too much.
And when does your season start?
Normally it's April, May, but this year we start also in March. We have a very nice wedding in Italy. That's the kickoff for this season.
That's right. You go abroad too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Do you take the flowers then, or do you buy them locally?
Well, most of the time we bring them because we always have, also the bride and groom, of course, have their special wishes. But I always like to work with several kind of flowers that I really like. And then, you don't know for sure if you go to another country and you buy them at a wholesaler there, you're not very sure if they're going to be there. So I always have like a control. I like to have the control, so then I prefer them to bring them with us. Yeah,
and you can guarantee the quality.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And what would you say would be the advantage for a bridal couple to hire a floral designer?
Well, I think the biggest advantage is that they have the experience for making a venue extra nice, because of course a lot of venues are nice from themselves as well, but it's a nice adding for your personality, maybe your theme, your color scheme that you have maybe for the wedding. And it's really nice adding for during the whole day. For example, if you have a nice invitation, then all the colors that are on the invitation, you can bring them along during the whole day. So I think it's nice that the experience from a floral designer can help you create a total image, like you said, Jasperine, total image for the day. And talk. How do you say it? Give it extra during the day.
Yeah, I think it's really a festive floral upgrade of the whole experience during the day, because of course we've seen your work, and it's such a beautiful image, when you walk into the ceremony room or the reception. And it's also very well value, because I've noticed we work together in the Dutch Maritime Museum. And you've created a beautiful arch for the arch window there,
Yeah.
which was reused for the suite table.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
it's
great
nice that
value then.
that you can, and that's always something that we like to talk with our bride and grooms as well. The planning during the whole day, because then we can think with you as well. What are the possibilities to reuse during the whole day? For example, when people are arriving, that kind of decorations can really be reused during the reception or the toast, and later maybe also for the party and
the dinner.
Yeah, and the dinner and the ceremony. That's very nice to use them. During the whole day, so that and especially if you have chosen a venue that you choose one venue, that everything is nicely reused during the day.
Yeah.
How does it work if a couple finds you online, probably either the website or a platform, and then they say, okay, we're going to get married on this date. Can you make it? And then your answer is yes. And how does it work? What is your approach?
What I always like to do is make an initial call, that we get to know a little bit about each other, and that we can make an appointment in our studio in Nieuwkoop, because we always like, if possible, of course, to know each other a little bit more personal. And then we go through during the whole day. So the planning, their wishes, what kind of decorations they like. And based on that, I'm going to make a floral concept, a mood board, some ideas, and a quotation next to it. We always like to work very transparent, so you can see per aspect what the cost will going to be. And what normally is done, because I always say we go for the ideal page, but I'm also aware that there's some budget you have to keep in mind. So then you can scratch everything that you say, okay, I really like it, but it's not very necessary. We're going to scratch that off the quotation. And then you have like a rough path, with all the decorations that you like to have. And during the coming months, of course, there are going to be adjustments, maybe amount of guests, amount of boutonnières, maybe some guests can attend, and then the setting for the ceremony with the chair is going to be a little bit different. So that kind of slight changes we can make during the months before the wedding. And at the wedding itself, of course, we're going to deliver every decorations. Maybe sometimes the bride bouquet and corsages we can deliver at a hotel, if they're going to stay at a hotel first, maybe for the getting ready and the pictures there. And then we're going to go to the venue and set everything, of course, for the arrival and the ceremony. And then normally what we do is we stay until approximately the dinner starts, so that we were able to reuse and remove every decorations. So no master of ceremony or friends or other relatives can have to do that. So we are there for that, so everybody can enjoy the special day.
Yeah. And how many people do you work with? How big is your team?
Yeah, normally what we do is we always come with 2 people to the wedding. And I have one direct colleague who has always worked with me. That's Anneke. And we always make everything together and prepare everything most as possible in our studio.
Yeah.
And at the location, we always work with 2 people with 2. So that we always have, sometimes, for instance, you have to deliver a bridal bouquet, so that 1 people can stay behind and finish the. So we always like to do that logistically.
Yeah. And would you say you have like a favorite kind of wedding couple you like to work with?
That's a good one. I always like if people are, of course, giving me the trust. That's the most important thing. That they trust us with providing the flowers for their wedding. I always like as well if they already have an idea, that they have in mind. Okay, this is the frame that we have in mind. That for colors, maybe some kind of flowers. But that they leave it a little bit up to us, that they trust us completely and say, okay, we know that you're gonna make it beautiful, and this is the idea that we have in mind, and good luck.
So you don't mind them sending you their Pinterest link of
I
their
really
mood
like
board?
it.
Or
It always gives for us also an idea. Okay, which way we're gonna go, and
it gives you good direction.
Exactly. Yeah,
I can understand that.
Yeah,
and do you have? Do you have like a favorite flower for you?
Yeah. My favorite is Latiris.
Oh yes. Oh, I love them.
Yeah, it's a very delicate and really seasonal flower.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite. And the smell, I always like to work a little bit with nice smells from flowers. And I always think, okay, maybe later. I always have. If I smell something, sometimes it brings you back to a memory, and I always like that something is incorporated with that. And perhaps later on, you smell it and you think, okay, that was my wedding day.
And do wedding couples also ask you sometimes for a special flower which has a certain kind of symbolism maybe for them?
Yeah. There was a couple, I think they were from, where were they from? I think Mexico. But there was a couple, and her grandmother really had a special flower that was a special symbolism for them. So they want to have them incorporate then in the flowers. And it's really nice to do that kind of personal touches during the day, and sometimes also maybe to remember somebody. And most of them, they don't want to, of course, make it too big and too heavy for the ceremony, for example. But it's nice to give a little bit of sometimes of those touches. We have that.
I'm just thinking about my parents' wedding. My mum had Lily of the Valley in her Leedjes van Dalen in her bouquet. But they got married halfway March. And she said, oh, and that was in the 60s. And she said, oh, I really want Lily of the Valley. But it was virtually impossible at that time to get it. Do you get impossible requests for like flowers in summertime that are not there? Or how do you go about that?
Sometimes it is. And of course, there used to be that it's really seasonal. So it was, like you said, impossible to get some flowers in a certain season. What you see now more and more, because of course the flowers also come from abroad to the flower auction.
Okay. Yeah.
You see more and more that it's a little bit, the seasons are, it's not really
flexible.
Yeah, it's more flexible. It's more year round.
Yes. Also because of the glass houses, probably.
And they come also from abroad, like peonies and ranunculus. Most of them come from Italy. But you see now as well that it's a little bit changing, and of course it's also request and how much there is in the flower. So the price is also, of course, vary because of that. So that's also something that you can keep in mind. Like if, for instance, if you have you're very fond of peonies, then it's good to think, okay, I want them to marry in the peony season. Also, cost-wise, that it's then
more
better
accessible.
Otherwise, it may be. Of course, you can get peonies also year round, but also the quality is sometimes also a point of that, and the price.
Are there trends like you see in wedding dresses? There's like a fashion in wedding dresses. There's like changes. Do you see that in floral design as well?
Yeah, as well. Yeah, it's very nice to see because of course, because we work now almost 15 years now in this industry. In the beginning, it was like, for instance, at the ceremony, nice bouquets next to the chairs, and that's still an idea. It's cost wise not that much, but you have something extra in the aisle. But what you see now more and more is the floral gardens next to the chairs, and that's I really like them because it's really if you enter the ceremony room, it's very immediately romantic and floral festive feeling.
It's almost like a love island for the wedding couple, I think. And I also see a lot of floral backdrops.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. That's also something that what we used to do is, two big arrangements next to each other as a symmetrical as a backdrop for the couple. And what you see more like also in the museum in Amsterdam, what we saw, you have like an archway and very asymmetrical. That's what you see most of the time, or round and then asymmetrical.
Yeah, or triangles even.
Yeah, and that's something that's I think a little bit flew over from America. Also, like bridesmaids. Normally in Holland, that was not not much the case. But now you see more and more that also adult bridesmaids are there. So we make more and more like bridal bouquets or bridesmaids bouquets.
Okay.
Yeah. It's nice.
And what about throwing away the bouquet, the tradition?
It hurts me.
Yeah, I can imagine, because such a beautiful bouquet. I've seen a bride have a second alternative bouquet, a light version, if you will, to throw away. Is that something you can arrange?
That's I always like then to do that, because I can imagine the bridal bouquet has a certain value, and if you throw them away, some people say, okay, I'm going to throw it away, and of course I'm fine with that, but it hurts me a little. So then we advise to make a small version, like you said, in the size like for a bridesmaid, so a little bit smaller. Of course, the same kind of flowers that it looks like. So that you can throw that away and you can keep your own too.
What a good idea.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Can you
solution.
see in the background, Marte? In the background, I've got my wedding bouquet under this glass.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So I did throw it away, but got it back.
Good. That's a good one.
It was saved.
Yes.
And we've almost come to the conclusion of this interview, Marta. Would you like to share your top tip for our listeners? Do you have something you say, well, this is really a great idea for you if you decide to hire a floral designer?
Or a funny story?
Oh yeah, that's also a good one. Well, funny story. I have a nice one. It was, of course, at the moment it was not funny, but afterwards we can laugh about it. We were at a destination wedding with Annelies from Art to Arrange Wedding Planning. And we were at a beautiful chateau in southern France. And of course, people think, okay, we're going to go to France. It's nice weather. They were a Dutch couple. And at the evening, before the wedding, it starts raining and it goes beyond the weather. So there was had a working place in the chateau in a kelder.
In the basement.
Yes. And I made all mine, because of course here in my studio I have a nice place and I have everything neat where everything has to be. And so I made there my working place. But because of the weather and it's in the basement, you can feel a little bit how it works. So I was lucky that I bring buckets, of course, for the flowers to have the water. So I prepare everything. But then the buckets are like this tall. So, and it was a little bit underneath the bucket. That was the water that has fallen into the basement. Wow. So I was making the bridal bouquet and the corsages with my ankles. Completely in water, and that's how I made the bridal bouquet and all the boutonnieres.
They were very hydrated.
Yeah.
And so no one noticed.
And of course the couple, and they could because later on the weather was good for the wedding day. But so I was lucky that everything was up, because I always I had napkins with me and tablecloths and that kind of thing. So I was happy that I put everything up, because it was a nice how do you say it
it's a
experience.
Good story afterwards.
When you
live it, you think, oh my god. And of course the couple, no one noticed the stress you had.
Only Annelies, because I said, oh my god.
Yes. But you share a great behind the scenes story.
Exactly. And we can laugh about it afterwards. Yeah.
Okay, then your top tip.
Top tip. That's a good one. What I notice is sometimes that couples think, okay, maybe an aunt or a friend can help me with decorate for the last things at the before the wedding starts. But I always say, please leave that to the specialists and other vendors, because at the latest for the ceremony starts, they always like to get dressed as well and look nice and have their dress on, and sometimes I see that people can be a little bit stressed because they had get an assignment from the bride and groom and they want to do it really nice and good, but they also want to enjoy the wedding day itself as well, of course. So I always say, okay, please leave that and leave that to us, and we're glad to help you with it.
You're the professionals.
Yeah, and I always see that as well. That when there are several vendors, of course, you have a photographer, maybe a videographer, and the makeup artist and everything together. And it's always nice to see that. And I really notice it that when everybody works really nicely together, it's 1 and 1 equals 3. And that's always what I see at a wedding. If everybody has also the same energy and a feeling that, okay, we want to make this wedding with all the people that are here.
Like a team.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly
you really have that synergy between all of the vendors.
Yeah. Exactly.
And let the guests and the bridal couple be quite relaxed when the ceremony starts, and let your wedding team do the work. And you have such a creative eye for things.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and it's really nice to see that everybody then comes together. Like, for instance, if there's something with the chairs, or is something with, for instance, I had at a venue one time that they didn't have very much, of course, with personnel at the day itself, and they were really rushing to get everything done for the dinner, and we were there as well because we have to wait, because then we can put all the centerpieces at the table. So then we said, okay, Anneke, let's go, and we're going to help with the tablecloth, and then you see it's very nice atmosphere together, and I really like that.
Yeah, a true professional.
Yeah, it's nice to do that together, and you hope if something comes up with us, maybe I how do you say? I do it on wood, but then you hope that they does that for you as well, and then you can create, and that the couple doesn't notice anything, and that they can enjoy them the day itself.
Yeah, you help each other out because you have the utmost involvement with the wedding.
Yeah,
and also you want the best for the bridal couple.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
So if our listeners try to find you because they want beautiful floral design, which Jasperine and I can attest to, where do they find you, Marte?
You can find us on our website, that is bloomyourlife.nl, and of course on Instagram you can find us. And we are happy to answer all your questions, and perhaps to invite you someday at our studio, or maybe online if that's more convenient. And we're looking forward to help you maybe with the florals for your wedding.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Marte.
See you at the next wedding.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to How to Get Married in Holland.
We look forward to share more about organizing your wedding day in the Netherlands in the next episode.
Hit the subscribe button so you won't miss anything.
Any questions in the meantime?
Please ask Wedding Celebrants Daphne or Jasperine. You can find us, plus the show notes, on Instagram.
And if you love this podcast, please leave a review.
It gives us a higher ranking, so more fun international couples with Dutch wedding plans will be able to find us.
Until next time.